Hello everybody, it's Suffolk Blue, all the way from merry old England. How the devil are you? I hope you're well. I hope you had a wonderful holiday season and Christmas and all that sort of stuff. Today we're going to carry on with our Minecraft Attack of the B-Team Let's Play series as we continue building... Woohoo! That's a bit close, a bit scary. As we continue to build our sewage farm. So let's go and show you. I have done a little bit of work, but I wanted to show you again some of the decorative stuff that I'm doing, whilst also showing you how it's sort of being developed. If you remember last time, I said I was going to do... I'll show you the main flat roof building in a second, but you can see around the edges of the tanks we have now put in our lighting. Again, these are just posts made from factory block on top of a concrete post with a metal looking post then on top, which leads to an inverted cage lamp which has been surrounded by glass covers. Alright, so all of that stuff is now housed within there. You can see that we've got sewage at the bottom of our main circular tanks. Nowhere near enough sewage yet, but when we get more animals this is going to fill up pretty quick, I think. What else have we got? Let's talk about the flat roof building. So this here is the look that I wanted to go for. I haven't put the glass in all the windows yet. I'm not 100% sold on this glass yet. I may go for the plain glass rather than that, but it's in there at the moment. You can see very short on design. Okay, very short. This is an industrial flat roof building. It doesn't have a great deal of beautification to it because it doesn't need a great deal. You can see where the roofs, the windows are going to go. I've got a little aircon unit on top. How to make my aircon units? Really, they're just factory blocks in this sort of shape with a dark fan on top to act as some sort of extractor, and then a covered hide type look here with another factory slab in there. So it's just set back from the edge a little bit. I could have probably put another... I haven't got any on me, but I probably could have brought that forward a little bit more. But there you get a sort of look at a roof aircon unit that I like to build. Flat roof using the white. I might put in the notches here actually just to complete that look. But I actually quite like that slight lip over the edge just to sort of break it up. But essentially that's it for the building. It doesn't need, you know, a ton of micro blocking on that building. If you remember, all our other buildings are micro blocked to death. You know, so much micro blocking, but if you're going for that style, that's the sort of thing you have to do. You know, our older buildings, again, you know, micro blocked really for design, whereas over here this building is an industrial unit at a sewage works, at a fertilizer factory essentially. So let's talk about the elephant in the room then. Let's look at this here. I wanted to create... This is the pumping house, remember. This is what this is doing. It's supposed to be pumping sewage from, you know, from across the network into this system. And I think to start with, let me just take out this so you don't hear this constantly going. Hold on. Oops. There we go. Let's just take that out just for a second, just so I can talk to you and you can hear everything. So remember the flow, all right? So remember the flow. So let's come over here. Let's start at the beginning with our moo cows. Here they are, and other animals. I hasten to add. This is just one of them. If I'm a moo cow and I'm now using this system, I am holding down the shift key, which means that I am adding sewage as we speak to the. Yes, get out of the way, cow. Out of the way, please. Thank you. Oh, hello. What? Will you get out of my way? Let me drop my picket now and everything. Let's get off the ground. There we go. So if we were a cow, we've just done all of that, and under here is a sewage pipe which should be leading into the main tanks here. All right, and indeed that's exactly what happened. You can see here because there's an outlet here on this tank. So this tank should fill up first, really, and then there's an overflow in the middle here which is flowing into this tank, and then there's another little pipe here which is leading out of this tank, and you can see that I've covered it up at the moment with just this block. I might put in another one of our steps, the same way that we did a step over here. In fact, it's highly likely that's what I will do. But that's pumping into this pumping house. Well, yes it is, because inside here is a portable tank, and you can see right now I've just filled it up. So this is now 8,000. So this portable tank is full, and what I've done, there's a pipe that's coming out. So this is the pipe that you saw outside, yeah? Dragging all that sewage into a single portable tank. Why? Well, A, so I could have a level. I wanted to be able a level, sorry, so I could see how much sewage we've got going through the system by having this little window, if you like it, although obviously this is just a factory hollow block, but it does serve as a window. Inside is just a portable tank, that's all. And what I've done is I've surrounded that tank in the metal, so actually you can't see any of the stone, so it looks like it's part of the machine, and it's just a level. Now you can do that with any fluid. You want to do it with milk. I could do it with milk over in the other where the big tanks are. I could actually have placed a portable tank to act as a sort of siphon, as a sort of level, and it's just supposed so I could walk in any time and go, oh yeah, so there's still sewage going through the system. I can see that. Now everything else around it is completely superfluous. Don't need to do any of it, because ultimately all I need this to do, I could run a pipe from here. Actually, I don't even need that tank. I could run a pipe all the way from here straight into a single machine that turns a composter that turns it into fertilizer, and then from there into a deep storage unit. Done. Where's the fun in that? Where's the creativity in that? So we're not going to do that. So instead what we're looking at creating is a pumping machine. This is supposed to pump. That's what it's supposed to do, and it's doing it, a lot, all the time. In fact, now what we want though is, if you look at our plan, over here is where we're going to end up storing and creating. This part here is where we're going to create our fertilizer, and this is actually going to be our smaller oval tanks which are going to store our fertilizer. So all I need really to do now is, first and foremost, let's pull out the that's an input at the top, isn't it? So I'm going to need to change that. I should be able to do this. There's no reason. I know what I can do. If I do that there, okay, and I need to put in one of these, and I'm going to it's ignored. And where's my spanner? Oh, crescent hammer even. Boom. Now that is an output, and you can already see that this is reduced because now this is full of sewage. So that's how you can have a portable tank with a fluid duct just coming out the top. Now I'm going to take the sewage up and across the roof, so it's actually coming this way, and it's going to come to, let's have a little look out here. I want that pipe is supposed to come out here actually. Now, shall I have that coming out of this part, or shall I have it coming out of this part? I think I'm going to have it coming out of this bit. Okay, let's take that while we can, and then we know how far we've got to have to. So actually I don't need that pipe there. Come out. Thank you. And instead I want to bring that down one, and then we can go out. And you can see that the level of sewage is dropping because it's filling up the whole pipe. The pipe is also storing sewage. And in fact, if I come through here, I can bring out this pipe from here. And this pipe is going to run, am I a little bit over? No, I'm right. It's going to run across there. Okay. I haven't decided whether I'm going to cover this pipe up or not in ducting so that it's all covered up. I might do, I might not. It just depends how it looks, because what I would like to do is probably create some scaffolding here to look like it's holding quite a heavy metal tank, metal pipe as it goes across. But that's the pumping. So in terms of function now, I don't need this room to do anything else. Okay, and I can hide all of this up, and I would hide all of this up. This light again. Do you remember when I did these over the other side, and they were the most annoying thing? I might get rid of those. I'm not sure I like that. Let's get rid of that now, because it's already getting in my way, and it's already too low, and I already don't like it. And you're going. Never come back. I'm never doing that design again, because I've done it twice now and I still hate it every single time I've done it. So learn your lesson, Suffolk Blue, and stop recreating the nonsense. What was I talking about? Yes! So I can hide all this away, so let's do that straight away. I quite like the idea of making that pipe look a bit thin, so it doesn't stand as proud as that, and it's got that sort of lip in it. Let's just take this across. Have I got any more? Factory slip. Yeah, let's do that and that. Fabulous. 18. So we're taking these across here, yeah? Whoops. Across there. Across there. There. And there. So the ducting goes across the ceiling. Clearly we've got to put the underneath in. Let's just do that. Let's just get this in first, because once this is ducted in, okay, everything else around it, I can pretty much do whatever I like. So I can make it as pretty or as creative or as plain or as whatever as I like. It won't make a blindy bit of difference. Let's come underneath here. Okay, so the pipe now can't be affected. Nothing can happen to the pipe. It is done. Done as a doornail. What I am going to do though is I'm going to use, where's my other factories blocks, because obviously this side is a bit wasteful. It doesn't do anything. Oh, we're coming up to. I think I'm still actually. I've got a horrible feeling I'm probably on peaceful. We'll stay on peaceful for this episode. I'm not going to be too fast. I know it's a bit dull, but still. I was in creative mode practicing this, getting this redstoning right, which is why. And when you go into practice, it is so annoying in practice mode in this version because you just keep it. So no matter what you try and do, I'm going to put an extra one there. Bring that out a little bit. Yep, that's fine. To there. Yeah, okay. So this whole unit here is now the machine. Alright. I'm going to put in that and, oops, that. Okay. And then what we've got to look at doing is just doing that. And just hiding away these pistons. So, this is a pumping house. This is what this does. It's supposed to pump sewage around the system. Alright. I'll do something special down that in a second. So, what have I created? Well, it's so simple as to be ridiculous, really. Let me get that and get me that ready. What we've got is we've got two repeaters. The reason we've got repeaters is because the signal sent from the timer is too short to make the pistons look right. If you just done them like that, they'd literally flick up and down, and it looks a little bit less industrial and a little bit sort of, well, pointless. But what these pistons, and they're just pistons, that's all they are, there's nothing special about them, and all they're doing is one is up and one is down, as you can see. And the way I've done that is by sticking a redstone torch underneath this. So this is now powered, which means that is up in use, and this one's got a little bit of alloy wire from that block to the bottom of this one, and that's unpowered. Okay, so because of that, these are both set on the same tick, so 4 ticks and 4 ticks, so they're equal in that sense, and all the timer's going to do is send a signal through the system. This repeater is going to make that longer, a 4 tick delay, which is going to turn off this redstone torch for 4 ticks, which is going to make this drop. Okay, and this one is just going to power this to make this rise. So what you end up with is sort of, well, I'll show you if it works. Okay, and you can see how they're pumping sort of opposite times. I mean, there's a slight delay, but it's not a great deal. But they're pumping opposite to each other, which starts to make it look like they're pumping. That's the point. Now, the next thing we want to do, obviously, is hide that piston a little bit, so we don't want that piston constantly showing. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to get a hollow factory cover. But I need to make some. Let's just make one set of these. I only need 2 of them, so 8 will be plenty. Thank you very much. And in the same way that we did with the portable tank, where we have the front of the portable tank shown but nothing else, I can pretty much do, as long as I'm in front of... Oh, rubbish. Where did that go? Did I put that at the bottom there? Whoops. Come off. Oh, no good. Okay, let's come back to this one. As long as I put it in front of the piston itself, we get to see the motion of the piston, but we don't obviously get to see anything else of it. Now, that just gives, for me, it's creating the illusion that something is being pumped, that these pistons are working to pump the sewage through this system. What I want to do, though, I'm not very happy with seeing the back end of these pistons. I think it's that one. Yeah. So I'm going to change it a little wee bit. And this is where we get a bit creative with the back end of this process. Even again, no functional reason to do this at all. It's going to go there, and this is going to go there. So the glass is only going to see that. And if we go and have a look inside, can't see anything outside now apart from that metal work. Can I see anything there? Yeah. So what we want to do now from the inside, excellent. Same here. Just from the inside, much easier to do. They're not on. So now the pistons are inside a metal cover by the looks of it, but obviously we can still see some piston from here. So it's okay, because we can get rid of that too. In exactly the same way, we're just going to knock out this bit of cobble here. Okay. Bring this down. And that's there. Now the reason I'm not putting marble on the back end of this is you can't chisel, as far as I'm aware, you can't chisel marble, or raw marble, which is the texture I've used for the back end of this. So it's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It's not a massive issue, because what that means now is the back end of this system has a sort of, still got a slight symmetry about it. I think what I'm going to do, I mean there's no reason for the windows to be there really either on this wall, because it's an industrial wall. So what we can do is we can pack that in with some marble walling. We don't need to put windows there and there. So from the inside, what we can see now is that. What we can also do is take out this one as we begin just to pack this in a little bit. Why can't I get that? We begin to enclose it in. So in essence, you can't see, you know, it looks like a machine. We're not making a wall here. It's all machine. If you wanted to be a little bit more creative, even more creative than this, what you could do is use different factory blocks. At the moment I'm just using the one of my favourite factory block, which is the rusted type of pipe, but there's no reason why you couldn't. And obviously this wall now is hollow, which is funny. There we go. So it hasn't done an awful lot to the outside, so that's fine. And from the inside we have something that's starting to look a little bit like a machine. Okay. Now, if I was to put, I wonder if this would work. Whether these would flash. Nope. No, I like that. So we get some lighting in there as well. And what we can also do on the back end of here. Oh. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Let's put one there. Just covering up again that marble. So it looks like a machine, a single pumping machine. Now obviously the problem we've got is that we can see the gubbins. You can see the bits and pieces below it. Now of course this side I'm going to bring down here to there and to there, and make that slightly bigger. Same there. Now, I don't like that. It's too much. It's just one big square. Like a little smiley face. It's like one big square of that material, and it's a little bit too much. So what we do instead, I'm going to be a bit more creative. Exactly like I just said, I'm going to not use... I'm going to make it out as if there's some ventilation, some sort of pressure, air pressure thing, or some sort of venting. And what we do is we're just going to make back into... Whoops. You can have a slightly uneven number, but it's okay. So we're going to take that, we're going to get our chisel, and let's just chisel that into something like that. Okay. And then with this one, again, I can just... Oops. I can chop this down. Just to give a different look, different feel. And then what we can do is slightly indented. Better. Better, better, better. Same here, slightly indented. I like. The last thing I need to do here, of course, is just to replace the floor. So I can go bump, bump, bump. Now you wouldn't know the redstone was there. You've got active working pumps, so to speak, which are pumping. So now the pumping house is pumping, quite literally. And I quite like that. I'm wondering whether... Looking at the bottom part, I'm just wondering whether or not I can get a microblock in here or whether I can't. Because I'd quite like to frame it a little bit, if I can. Oh, beautiful. Exactly what I wanted to do. See what that does? It just, again, it pulls it forward, makes it look slightly different. Let's just put that in there and get some more of these covers. So, all of that fuss, all of that, all of that nonsense, not one of it is functional. But it just looks a lot better. I think, anyway. There. Just taking out that brightness of the white, because it did look a bit stark. So we're just going to take out that. So now we've still got those vents at the bottom of the machine. It's still 1 square wide, but the pumping house now has its pumps pumping away. And we've got a level in the middle that we can see we've got a full sewage going on there. So that's been topped up after I did that little run through. But we're still getting good sewage coming through this pipe here. Now, what can we do with this? Well, one of the things we can look at doing, and if I take out, let's just pretend for a second, have I got, I don't think I've got enough for blocks now. I'm going to have an odd number, which I don't really want an odd number at that stage. But essentially, I've got to look at what we can do here, because I don't like that sort of U-shape unless I do something with it. And I think what we could do, if we go and grab ourselves, have we got any carpenter's blocks? What we could do is create what looks to be piston housings on the back end, you know, something which is holding in those pistons. Let's take that. Have I got any factory blocks anywhere? I must have some, but I can't imagine I've run out of factory blocks. That's ridiculous. I've had hundreds of them. Oh, now it's raining. Christmas tree will be coming down soon. Soon be New Year's. Have I got any factory blocks in here? Some sewage blocks. I mean, I do need to get this. This whole house just needs to be ripped. Oh, I did have another time. I didn't realise that. I would have used that one. I wouldn't have spent the time making. Oh, there's some extra ones. We'll take them. See, I've got so much stuff to go through. In order, when we come to making the new building, the new house, I am going to have to go through this whole house. I'm going to. There we go. Look at this. What a result. I'm going to go through the whole of this and just rip it apart. Can we get sleep in? Do you think? Oh. Thank you. Let's get rid of this weather. Oh. But it can't be far off. Annoying. Okay, well, let's walk round. Under the trees. I've not been down the mine for ages. I really must get back down there and do some mining. That's pretty cool as you walk along this palisade there, walking along this pathway. Past the milk, past the dairy. In here. Can we try sleep again? Still need to get some more wool. Got to finish off the carpet in here. Oh. Not happy. Oh well. Never mind. Christmas tree will be coming down in here soon as well. Oh, wrong way. So, what we can do here then, if I go back to what I was doing, seeing as I can't turn this rain off, is we begin by looking at ways of being able to pull across this pipe in a more interesting way than the ways that we would normally just pull it across. So if I take out this and this, firstly, let's look at the level we'll need to be in order to be able to build And that's... I think it's got to be one higher than that. Let's put in a block. Yeah. So that would be the bottom of whatever we do now. Under here, we can do what we like. So now that that's at the right level, I could look at building or coming down with some strut supports if I wanted to, which I might do. The best way of doing that, I suppose, is to put that there and build from the bottom up, I suppose. Actually, that might look pretty good across there. Let's get a few more of these. Oops, wrong way around. Thank you. So that's across there like that. Support struts. Okay, and then let's put another set of support struts here and here. Obviously, we can't strut them like diagonally as if somehow they're... well, we could do that. And that. And that. And that. Let's keep that going across there. Okay, that's going to be awkward. I don't know why you're being awkward. Well, we need that to go up there, like, anyway. Sometimes building this, because of the way it snaps on, it's actually harder than it looks. There we go. And then all we really need, somehow, if this would just play nicely. Actually, if I put that there. Put that there. Take that away. You can see that we're already starting to construct something which looks a bit like trestling, or some sort of trestle-like thing, which is carrying this across. Now, I might take out actually these two here, because they're going to go into the machine, so it doesn't really need those two as well. Yeah. Now, I could have put, there is an actual scaffolding, of course. We could look at this too. Whoops, I've got that in capitals. Look, 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 look! There's scaffolding, basic scaffolding, reinforced scaffolding. We wouldn't use that one, obviously. We would probably just use the industrial scaffolding like this, which we could run, and that would give us that sort of look. But you can see how you can do it with just microblocks. To a point, I mean, obviously we can't do the crossovers. But yeah, that doesn't look too bad. I probably will take it out and replace it, though, with the other scaffolding look, because I think that's going to look a bit more strong in terms of its design. Oops, don't put that on there. Careful not to cut your pipes off, otherwise your sludge will stop flowing. There, and there. There and there. So that's our pipe coming out of the pumping house. So it's coming in over here. As I said, we can do something here as well. So from here, let's think about this. I want this to look like that. Yep. And that. And then actually what I can think I'll do is I'll run this like that, and then do that and that. That and that. Trying to think how this is going to look. If I do there and there, that looks pretty cool. And again, it's just made that all disappear. And because of the way the factory block works, it looks like there's a giant something there. But essentially, that's your giant pumps. Now, what else we could do is we could look at building on top here. Although obviously I've got micro blocks in there at the moment, but I could look at building some piston heads at the top of the machine. So what that would look like essentially is that the pistons going all the way up, like giant piston housings like that. And by using these micro blocks, I can build on the other micro block, and it sort of envelops it in, so it sort of all matches up and looks pretty. Let's do that as well. Thank you. So you can do stuff like that, which then looks like there's some sort of link between this structure here. What I would also probably do, just because I'm fussy like that, is I would begin by sort of just micro-blocking this out a little bit. I'm actually going to do this as the fatter top. Because if you can imagine, what I'm suggesting is happening in here, by the fact that there's a big machine going around on the side as well, is that the pistons are hitting, if you like. That's the top of their extension, that's as far as they go. And that's where the housing is. And I think I can probably put another one at the bottom there like this. And it just creates a bit more of an industrial feel for the building. Again, serves no purpose, no point having it if you didn't want to do it pretty, but there you go. Now you've got piston housings. And they sit on top of the roof. So from the inside, it now looks like the machine, that those pistons are having something to do with above, whatever's happening above. And yeah, they're even, that's good. I think that looks pretty good. So today's episode then, really just getting that old pumping machine in and showing you briefly what we've done with the outside. We do need to put some glass in. Doesn't touch there, does it? No. Okay. Good. So I think that's it. I think that's going to be it for today. What we could put on top there, just thinking about it, because you know me, always thinking, I'm going to make that slightly taller on top. Because I do think that it needs to be like that. Yeah. See how much difference that extra level just makes. Again, bit of texture. Sorry about that lag spike. It's because we're putting in the rest of the town. But there we go. So there's the pumping machine. We know it works. Sewage is coming in. It's going to go through this system, pumped out, and the next time we come back, we get to really start dealing with the machine over here and beginning to make something which looks like it's making fertilizer. So we're going to need like a vat type thing, which are these. We're going to make our more tanks, some deep storage, actually make our fertilizer factory so it begins to create fertilizer, and then sewage is dealt with. What I would like to do though, and I am going to do it, is I'm going to make an outflow pipe from here, which will hopefully have real flowing water. So it looks like the sewage is coming in, the fertilizer is dealt with, it's processed, and then we return fresh water back to the system. I think I'm going to do that. But anyway, there's the start of our little factory over here. We're going to put some lights on the outside of this at times. Actually, can we put some lights inside? We've got 2 in there at the moment. Let's stick a light in here for now. Where would be a great idea? Let's stick... Oh, of all the places, that was not the one I had in mind. Come here. There we go. So from this very noisy episode, this machine-filled episode, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for your support. Lots more coming up, and I'm going to start, hopefully, anyway, I say I'm going to hopefully start a new Let's Play series very soon on another game that I enjoy playing. So we're going to have SimCity, we're going to have Minecraft, we're going to have KSP. Have I missed one? SimCity, Minecraft, KSP, and then the 4th. So a few more things to come, lots more happening. If you've liked the design, if you like the look and feel, if you've got some comments you want to make, please leave them in the comments section. You know me, I love to read your comments, always try to reply. Thanks for your support. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it around. It's always nice to see it being shared about. And if you've got any advice on anything else you want me to see me do with this, let me know. Until next time, I'm going to keep tinkering with this because you know me, I don't think I'm going to be able not to. But until next time, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.